Hello everyone. In this video, I will be talking about Learning Objective 2 and 3 of Week 6. Learning Objective 2 is create and interpret simple tabulation tables, and Learning Objective 3 is understand how cross-tabulations can reveal relationships. So first of all, tabulation. So from the word you understand, tabulation means tabulating data. Okay, so tabulating data means you are arranging your data in a meaningful way so that it carries some information for the readers, or you are tallying your data so that it is arranged and presented in such a way it carries some information. Look at this. As we have seen in the previous video that some respondents were asked from where they buy beers, and their responses are tabulated in this table. So among the respondents, you can see 50 said that they buy from drugstore, 225 said they buy from convenience store, 175 from grocery store, 35 from a specialty store, and 15 from others. These are the percentages. So this is an example of tabulation. Means that it's an orderly arrangement of data. We orderly arrange data, present it in a table so that it gives a summary of the whole data set. Now, cross-tabulation. So what do we mean by cross-tabulation? In the tabulation that we have seen in the last slide, you remember we have only one variable. What is that? From where customers buy their beers. Now, as far as the cross-tabulation is concerned, it's also a tabulation, but it is more complex because in cross-tabulation, we show a summary of more than one less than interval variables. Less than interval variables means nominal and ordinal variables. So I repeat, if we present a summary of one variable in one table, then it's tabulation. If we present more than one variable in a table, then it is cross-tabulation. So generally in a cross-tabulation, in column, we will show one variable, and in row, we will show another variable. It's not necessary that only two variables can be shown in a cross-tabulation. It's also possible to show more than two variables. So look at this example. Cross-tabulation question. Have you followed the news stories about AIG bonuses? So you are asking your respondent that whether they are following a particular news. So answers are very closely, somewhat closely, not very closely, not at all, and not sure. Okay. Now the answers are 55% answered that they followed it very closely, 33% said they followed it somewhat closely, 8% not very closely, 2% not at all, and 2% not sure. So up to this is tabulation. Now, if we add some other variables, then it will become a cross-tabulation. For example, we are segregating this whole result in between gender, men and women, between age, different age groups, 18 to 29, 30 to 39, 40 to 49, 50 to 64, and 65 plus. So it becomes a cross-tabulation. Okay, and look how cross-tabulation sometimes can show some important relationship. For example, when we see overall result, 55% have very closely followed the news. When we divide them between men and women, we see that 60% men closely followed it and 51% women closely followed the news. So we understand that whether the news was closely followed by our respondents or not, that depends on their gender. Men generally followed the news more closely than women. Then if you look at the age group, also you can see that 41%, 49%, 52%, 67%, and 68% of the respondents in different age group have followed the news closely, and you can see that there is a very clear upward trend of the proportion of respondents followed the news very closely with the increase of age. That means higher the age of your respondent, more proportion of your respondents have closely followed the news. So you understand that whether the news was followed by the respondents or not, that depends on their gender and also depend on their age. So this is how cross-tabulation summarizes the data and also shows some important relationship. Now, contingency table is sort of cross-tabulation that shows some combination of responses. Okay, that means you have different variables and you just try to combine some respondents to responses to get some more relationship, and marginals are the row and column of the contingency table. So look at this example. Cross-tabulation question: do you shop at Target? This is the question. So 150 men said yes and 75 men said no out of total 225. And women, 180 said yes and 45 said no out of 225. So this is how a cross tabulation is reported. Now, if you combine them in this table, percentage of cross tabulation, do you shop at Target, by sex of respondent and column percentages. So this is 330, I mean total number of yes, and this is 120, total number of no. So you see that in this 330, 45% of the yes responses came from men and 54% of yes responses came from women. So you understand that more women respondents from your sample shop at Target compared to the men respondents in your sample. Okay, so this is called a contingency table, that is combining some responses. And the marginals are, for example, the rows and columns. Like here, those are column and those are rows. So these are called marginals. A statistical base is the number of respondents total that is used as base. For example, here 450, here 225. So these are called statistical base. Now, elaboration and refinement, sometimes we might have a cross tabulation showing the relationship between two variables, and we may elaborate it. I mean, we may extend this analysis by adding some other variable. For example, you can remember here, we initially had a tabulation, the responses from adults, then we divided between gender, and we also divided between age. So this is called elaboration analysis. You are bringing more and more variables. And moderator variable is sometimes when you show relationship between two variables, then you add some moderator variable. That means you add a third variable to show if the relationship still exists. Okay, let's see an example. So do you shop at Target? You divide them by their marital status, men, women, on the basis of gender. We previously have seen this classification. So when they're single, 55% men said yes and 80% women said no. And when they're married, 86% men said yes and 80% women said no. Now, if you can remember our gross result here, 66% men said yes, they shop at Target, and 33% men said no, they don't shop at Target, and 80% women said they shop at Target, and 20% women said they no, they don't shop at Target. Now, if you look at women's result, when they're single, it's 80% and 20%, and when they're married, it's 80% and 20%. So it means that whether women shop at Target or not, that's not related to their marital status. However, if you look at men's response, 55% men said yes when they're single. However, 86% men said yes when they're married. That means when men shop at Target, it largely depends on whether they are married or not. When they got married, they more frequently shop at Target. Okay, so this is how we add more variable to find out some more relationship that might be interesting or meaningful for the researcher. Now you might have one question: how many cross tabulation? You understand, if you have a number of questions in your questionnaire and each questionnaire has one or two variables, then it might be possible that you have numerous cross tabulation. For example, you have seen we had only one simple question, do you shop at Target? We had a number of cross tabulation tables. Now, how many cross tabulation tables, that actually depends on whether this cross tabulation is related to your research question or research hypothesis or not. If your cross tabulation is related to one of your research question, you can present them. This is one point. Another point is also you need to know that whether the cross tabulation is showing an interesting result or not. For example, you can remember what we previously have seen, that as far as women is concerned, the overall result, and when we are dividing them between the marital status, the results are almost similar. So there is no point of presenting this cross tabulation. However, when the man is concerned, their overall result and the result when they are divided on the basis of their marital status are different. So it is an interesting result to present in cross tabulation. So we should present only those cross tabulation that represent some interesting result that is not found in the overall result. We also will discuss quadrant analysis, which is actually an extension of cross tabulation. Keep it in mind, this quadrant analysis is used when we have two rating scale variables. We plot the ratings of our respondents in a 4-quadrant and we try to find out some relationship. Look at this example and look at these variables first of all. These are some variables related to the factors customers like to have when they stay in a hotel, like room cleanliness, prompt service, room prices, quietness, breakfast availability, attractive interior, entertainment, 24-hour service. Now, some respondents were asked to rate these factors on two issues. One is on the basis of their performance and on the basis of their importance. So similar factors, they should provide two ratings. One is their importance and other is their performance. Since the two rating scale variables, we have generated the answers and we summarize the answer in these 4 quadrants. You can see this high importance to low importance and low performance to high performance. So this quadrant basically indicates high importance, high performance factor. This quadrant shows low importance, high performance factor. This quadrant represents low performance, low importance factors, and low performance, high importance factors are placed in this quadrant. So first of all, room cleanliness. You can see it's a high importance and high performance variable, so it's fine. It's a high importance variable and also its performance is high, so customers are happy with that. These two factors, entertainment and 24-hour service, they're low importance factor. However, their performance are good. It's all right. Low importance, but still customers are happy with them. These two are low performance and low importance variable. They are not very important to customers. Attractive interior and breakfast availability, their performances are also low. However, this quadrant is the problematic area. Look, prompt service, room prices, and quietness, these are high importance variables. That means customer consider them as highly important, however, their performances are poor. So this quadrant provides important information to management that these are high importance variable, however, customers are not happy with these factors. So to improve the performance, this factor need to move from this quadrant to this quadrant. In this way, a quadrant analysis can provide important information to management. So we will discuss learning objective 4 in the next video. Thank you very much.